All right, Esper control. This deck is the mana base in here. If we can cast our spells consistently, this deck's probably great. That being said, even with 12 shocks and 12 buddy lands, we are trying to play a blue card in Absorb and a black white card in Kaya's Wrath. So we have 17 black sources and 17 white sources and 16 blue sources. So let's see how this goes. Definitely interested to see how the mix of things feel. Remember, we're just playing in the traditional queue here, so if things feel clunky or we want to make some changes, we can do that in between. I could definitely see there being a world where, like, we turn into a black-white splash blue deck, and we just play, like, Negate and Syncopate as our counter spells, and we cut the Absorbs, so we can cut back to, like, 14 or 15 blue sources. Just, like, have a blue splash for, like, Teferi and, like, 1 blue counter spells. How long do I plan on playing for tonight? I don't know, like another 5, 6, 7 hours. If the viewer count stays absurd, I'm gonna go long. And then I'll be back tomorrow morning. Look at that! Casting doubts on our mana base, and it's just stone cold perfect. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Can we talk for a moment about, I think this card is one of the better cards in this set, and this card is so unreasonably fantastic at keeping you alive so you can cast Kaya's Wrath. Like, the fact that this card, like, diddles something for a turn and draws a card, and then, like, gives you time to get to here is fantastic. Oh, did I not update the stream decker? I don't think I did, you're right. Stream decker's updated. We've not played Mardu Aristocrats yet. Oh, look at that. Sir, you're being deposed. Thank you. I don't know, is it a sleeper card? I haven't really been paying attention to, like I do so much Magic content these days that I haven't been able to read a lot of other stuff. I've been watching other streams, as you know, steal ideas from great people, but I haven't been reading as much, and I haven't seen if people haven't been talking about this. I highlighted this as one of the cards I was excited to see play. Alright, cast Wrath of God. I think Mini Mana Leak is better than Negate. I don't think so. I could see playing a mix of them. Honestly, control decks are probably more interested in Syncopate. So the thing you need to think about is that Quench tends to be better on turns. So on turn 2, Syncopate and Quench tend to be identical. However, on turns like 3 to 6 or 7, Quench tends to be a little bit better because it's slightly stronger counterspell for 2 mana that helps you generate double spell turns earlier. Whereas in the late game, even though Syncopate costs large amounts of mana, it can still be live when Quench is very dead. Do I get anything out of attending pre-releases? I don't really enjoy playing limited, so I don't play pre-releases because of that. I know a lot of players that attend pre-releases that like play a lot of Magic. I like have a lot of Magic success. If you have fun playing limited, pre-releases are a great experience. I just generally, the reason why I stream nothing but Constructed on this channel is because I enjoy playing Constructed. Can we talk about how good Absorb is in matchups like this, by the way? Absorb is basically a 2-for-1 against decks like the opponents because it stops one of their spells and it gains us 3. Yep. Well, we might see a good, clean example here of Screw Beating Flood. Moment of Craving, like, has good symmetry against Vanishio Pyromancer, though. Absorb. Chemister's Insight is an absurd draw. I want to make sure I leave white mana available here when I cast this, so I'm going to manually tap because it was going to tap both my white sources. And you saw there how I sampled how it was going to tap my lands before I cast my spell. The auto tapper always tells you what it's going to do before it does it. Don't blame the auto tapper. Pay attention. All right, so they have to have risk factor here to punish me for doing this. And if they have that, I just let them draw 3 cards. Doesn't look like they do. Sweet. We're kind of bridging here. If we can find a Teferi or a way to actually, like, gain advantage, we're going to be in a good spot here. Do you think I can fit anything else in my mouth along with my foot? What are the odds? Can I fit anything in my mouth along with my foot? I feel like I probably can't. There's a good chance that my foot is all that will fit in here. I'm gonna take the hit from these other 2 for now.
If you show remorse, I'll show you. Keep up the pace.
Alright, I'm gonna Mortify a token this turn. Maybe I should have just Mortified a token last turn. I don't know. If I drew a Wrath I didn't want to burn my Mortify. I have this Negate, so I have a little bit of a chance here. So I'd like to talk about something really quick. So people like to comment that, like, we're flooding in situations like this, and I think one of the things people fail to account for a lot of the time in situations like this is how many cards you've seen. So flooding doesn't just mean that if you've drawn half your deck and you've drawn half your lands, you're not flooded. You've just seen a proportional number of lands to the number of cards that you've seen. Flooded means you've seen a higher proportion than you normally would. Yeah, we don't have... What are the ways we actually kill them here? That's actually just the Stone Cold best draw on their deck. I watched an ad for once. Please start calling Quench Mana weak. That is all. Sounds good. Yeah, what are how do I actually pull ahead here? Yeah, feeling pretty dead. I have to let them draw 4 cards here. Yeah, where are all the absorbs? Where are the Angel of Graces? Holy crap, Angel of Grace would just be absurd here. Indicium, thank you for the 25 months. Welcome back. I don't know that we need more win cons. Like, if I had hit an Absorb or an Angel in the top half of my deck, we'd be okay. Ha, 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 staying alive, ha, 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 staying alive, do-do-do. Can I just, like, can we just, like, have one double spell turn, please? All we really need is, like, one double spell turn. Like, even Absorb probably locks this game back up. Like, Absorb is basically a triple spell. Alting doesn't really help. I just want to draw cards. Laughs at Visit, right? No, my chemistry is gone. If my chemistry was still jump-startable, it would be over here.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
Oh, feels bad, man. We had precognitive perceptions we could have drawn too. We had so many high impact cards we just like never found. Contempt's a little slow, even though it gains us health. Definitely want these. This card just sits here and gains us 2, so that sounds great. What do I want to cut here? Trim Teferi, get out of here. Yeah, maybe Azcanta's fine. Azcanta helps filter your mana too a little bit. Helps you find your colors. I think it's Insight or Precog. And Precog, we added in more 5, so cutting 5s makes sense. Yeah, I'm bringing in 5, so cutting a 5 makes sense. I don't like boarding in Duress against mono red. I could -3 Teferi, but like, I feel like the play to win line there is like hit something like Depose. People do genuinely think the shuffling algorithm is broken. If you've ever taught or taken a introductory to statistics class in college, you will understand that the average human being has a terrible understanding of statistics. Looking at you, Absorb. I think I'm cycling this just to hit a land. I'm gonna put this into play tapped and just play into Kaya's Wrath next turn, I think. I got forced into Azorius in my sealed pool. Listen, nobody puts baby in a corner. You choose what you play. How would you be able to tell if the shuffle is working? It's very easy. You just have to take an incredibly small sample size and say it proves whatever you're looking to prove. Implementing a pseudo-random number generator is actually hard, and there's lots of ways to mess it up. Listen, unlike many places on the internet, you're not allowed to just come into my channel and post lies. So, you wanna say stuff like that, you gotta back it up. Back it up. Back it up. I'm only gonna exile 1 card here because I want to leave extra creatures in there so I can gain more life. I love how people are like, my sample size is like 50 games, and I'm confident the shuffler is broken. Just like, yes, 50 is, you think 50 is a meaningful sample size. Got it.
Usually I'm better at dodging.
Gross.
You won. This time.
Maybe I was too aggressive with this. Deploy is gonna be pretty reasonable here. So, Kaya kind of accomplished her goal there, right? She, like, gained 6. Like, 3 mana gain 6 is, like, kind of playable, right? Phoenix is kind of a tough nut to crack here. Absorb looking pretty bad. I get that Absorb is a good spell, but, like, trying to play Absorb and Kaya's Wrath together is kind of greedy. We're gonna play 1 more game with this spell base, but then we're probably gonna shift it back up when if it feels bad again. Like, the correct number to hit this consistently by, like, 3 to 4 is, like, 17 to 18. We only have 16 blue. Alright, well, that's good. So I get to Kaya's Wrath, and then I get to Moment of Craving the token here. And they didn't, as I say, they didn't play a Siege Gang Commander. They could have just been like, insulating themselves against this line. So if they have sieging as a follow-up, we're going to be in trouble. Like, if they have any creatures here, like, I'm just holding counterspells in my hand and, like, don't have a lot going on. Guild gates instead of basics? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I agree the lack of search leaves a bit to be desired. Just land number 7, still can't cast Absorb. We've not played the Aristocrats yet. If you want to see decks that we've played today, you can find them in my deck queue. So the decks that are listed in the deck queue that are not still in my stream title are decks that we've already played. Have any of the decks impressed you even ones we played? If the first 2 decks we played today were great, what did we play? We played Gruul, Aggro, mid-range monsters, or whatever you want to call it, for the first match. And we played Mono Red Steamkin for the second deck. I think my opponent's conceding here for some reason. Yeah, I think Thought Erasure helps set up our mana better, and it requires less dedication to blue. I want to play at least one more game with the Absorb, just so we can, like, showcase how they're awkward again. People submit decks with me to see them played at least to start, so, like, I smooth some things here and there, but at least a couple to start I think would be good. The hand needs some lands, but we're on the draw, and there's 26 lands in our deck. What are gift subscriptions? Gift subscriptions are somebody else pays for the sub, and you get it. We've not played Dovin and Esper. This is our first time playing Esper today. I don't think that's true. Esper information campaign. That's really sweet. So I'm gonna bluff and absorb here by shocking this in. That seems really sweet. I don't know how we ever win this game. We're just gonna take all of our choice away. This being an instant is pretty sweet, these control mirrors. I love the Mythic Angel animations. Super Jivey, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. The old Esper mirror. Yeah, I guess the fact that this is like turning on the removal spells makes it kind of bad here. There's a very, very good chance that we just shouldn't have any of these in the main deck. I'm just gonna try and stick this. When they sabotage me, I'm gonna concede. Yeah, let's get to the post-board game here. Thief of Sanity is pretty good here. Let's cut all these removal spells. I get to leave Mortify in because it does kill their what's it called? Disdainful Stroke is fine here. Vona is probably fine, right? I want the Primal Tide as well. Do I want Vraska's Contempt? What are my trims here? I feel like I kind of want all of the cards that are in my deck right now. Angel of Grace is kind of bad, I guess. This seems fine. It might be right to hold this Duress for 2. Well, that's fine. I didn't like the cards in my hand anyways. We'll take a do-over and draw some more off the top. We'll take a do-over here, and we'll find some more off the top later. You do you, opponent. Maybe I'm supposed to leave the so like, the problem with leaving the Disinformation Campaign while I have Mortifies in my hand is if Disinformation Campaign comes into play and I kill it with Mortify, I've been 3 for 1. They drew a card, we discarded a card, and we played a Mortify. So you get pretty far behind. I think we're done here. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. I think trying to play Absorb is wrong. I think you need to like pick Kaya's Wrath or Absorb, and I think Kaya's Wrath's a big incentive for being an Esper. Let's push this around a little bit. I agree that the new Mortify artwork is very good. Concur with that sentiment. I think Depose is great. Let me get another copy of that. Search for ads. Let's get 2 Azcantas in here. Now let's get a full 4 Thought Erasure. I guess I should probably put an actual win condition in this deck. Should probably put an actual win condition in this deck. One Chromium's probably good. That's on your end, Bulletproof Pope. Refresh your Twitch browser. Twitch has gets lagged like that sometimes. Am I out of sync for other people? Sync is fine. Sounds good. Why isn't Nazal better? This like takes 3 cards to save, and this takes 1 card to save. I know this draws you cards, but when I'm only playing one of this card, I want it to be able to be very resilient and kill my opponent with it. So this doesn't dodge Wraths, but like, this is technically a win condition too. Looks fine. Broken On, thank you for the 6-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Field of Rune. Yeah, let's put Field of Rune in my 3-color deck. That sounds great. Alright, sideboard. I think I'm okay with the sideboard. There's a good mix of stuff in here. Yeah, we might not need this many Duress. I'm gonna put the last Moment in my sideboard. A couple of Seal away. Alright, let's do that. I guess Depose Deploy is also technically a win condition. We have 3 copies of Negate in our main deck, as well as some Disdainful Strokes in our sideboard for counter spells. So we have a touch of counter spells. What's going on, Thunderbow? Afternoon, evening. Man, our blue sources have not been kind. We're on the draw. I have 2 castable Mortifies. Maybe this one. I only have 15 blue sources. Just dead. Can never win in a million years. Opponent has played a 1-mana 2/1, and I have 2 copies of Murder in my hand. Just mono deadsies. Savannah Lions winning on turn 1 since 93. Need more fungal infection? Kinda. Well, we cut Absorb, Mardu aggro, interesting. And Kaya's Wrath doesn't gain us life because we don't have creatures of our own. Man, I have more Mortifies than blue sources. It has nothing to do with the fact that I didn't mulligan and everything to do with the fact that I'm unlucky and the shuffler's broken, right? Whoa, we just jumped up a big amount. Did we just get a host from someone? Where's my dashboard? Oh, Thundermo hosted. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate it. Should probably set up I think I can set up my alerts for a host above a certain size. Should probably do that. Thank you, Mo. Hope you had a good stream today. Welcome to folks coming over from there. We're playing best of 3 standard all day today. We've been going for like 6 hours. We're gonna go for a bunch more. Think I'm just passing here. Thoughts on Naya Peltwhacker in Modern? It's pretty unimpressive. Just gonna go ahead and kill this. If we hit a blue source next turn, we might be in this game because they're just not doing anything. Arena should let you manually shuffle your cards. Yep. Can I just what if we made an add-on for Arena where I could shuffle my deck physically in front of me and then put it in the computer and it would take what I have randomized? That's the obvious solution, right? So I'm putting a stop on my opponent's main phase here so I can mortify this before they go to combat. Don't you believe cumulative probability or the law of large averages? And this seal away looks real awkward in front of this. I guess I can depose this and then seal it away next turn. They are flooding, so screw tends to beat flood. Whale shoot. Not if we're dead though. Not if we're dead. So we're going to 6 here. I get to seal away the Oglark. Going to 4 next turn. Super dead to another heroic reinforcement. Four mortifies, no blue sources. Unlucky. If we hit a blue source, deploy cleans up the reinforcements nicely. Cost for me to give you my list and run it with alteration after making alterations. It is $10 for subscribers to add a deck to my deck queue. And learn all the details here on my website. This is just a bad joke. Oh no! Wow, that's rough. Nice seal aways. We're playing 15 blue sources. I did keep an opening hand without blue mana, to be fair. It's a really weird Orzhov deck. Doesn't have any blue cards in it. Strange. Got blue lands in it. Alright, going to 2. So, we need to draw Kaya's Wrath here. We did not, so we're dead. Let's not show them a blue land. Alright, so Lyra and that and Vona come in. I think Kaya is just good enough to gain health in these aggressive matchups. Need to do a little bit of testing, obviously, to be sure of that, but my gut says that's probably the case. The discard spells are probably a little bit mediocre if they're more aggressive. I think I like leaving in Negate because Negate tags Heroic Reinforcements as well as History of Benalia if they're playing it, although they might not be playing History of Benalia. My favorite aggro deck last season was white splash red aggro. I haven't played, the Memekin deck we played today actually was pretty good. You could try that as well. Whoop. Oh, are we playing 61? Did I click submit on 61? I might have registered 61. Yeah, that definitely happened. Listen, in an effort to give this a fair shake, we're gonna play one more match after this, just to make sure we're not just hitting bad variants. Back in my day, all of Jeff's decks were 61 cards, and it was called the Hoagland Special. Ain't that the truth? Man, Wrath of God's really good in the face of these Dauntless Bodyguards. Alright. Alright. Who's ready to trade a 4-mana Wrath for a 1-mana 2/1? This guy right here. Deal. Alright. Alright, they are banking on us being incredibly unlucky. Which, to be fair, based on what we've seen so far with this deck, is probably a good gamble. Probably a worthwhile gamble that we are unlucky. So we don't gain 2 there. So it was funny. The thing I heard the other day, Perkins, it just like summarized competitive Magic so well. And the person said competitive Magic is the art of I'm gonna mess up what they phrased. They basically said competitive Magic, being good at competitive Magic is the art of taking statistically insignificant sample sizes and drawing reasonable conclusions from them. I didn't cast Kaya's Wrath because my lands didn't cast that spell. Is the art of correctly generalizing from sample sizes too small to draw real conclusions. Yeah, that was Engelbaum. Believe it or not, the difference between 60 and 61 is pretty marginal. Yeah, even if I conceded there without looking for the white cat. Oh, God. Alright. You know what? I can cast a spell on turn 2, okay? All I'm saying is I can cast a spell on turn 2, and I am don't look a gift horse in the mouth, chap. Not everything in life. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect mana. Never didn't have it. Perfect, perfect, never didn't have it. How greedy is it to bin this? I mean, like, the only double white card we have in our deck is Kaya's Wrath, and Kaya's Wrath probably doesn't have a text box against what they're playing, right? Right? Excuse me. Ooh, sorry. In a move that surprises no one, Search for Azcanta seems excellent in this deck. Mortify does kill Eldest Reborn, which is sweet here. And if we manage to draw another untapped land here, which all of our lands are untapped at this point, I can Teferi plus Teferi Mortify the Eldest Reborn. Oh, I don't have to click on my only card anymore. God bless. Library, thank you. Put a stop on my end step. Play this, plus this, mortify this.
I know, but hold that thought.
Mortify's been kinda lackluster so far. I feel like the 4-2 split on Mortify to Vraska's Contempt also feels a little bit wrong. Should probably just be like 3-3 to start.
Every problem has a solution. Let's start by taking you out of the equation.
Hey, Oblong Osprey, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. So that's not an answer to their Rail, but it's just like a card that's generically good in the matchup. And like, we have our Teferi going toe-to-toe with their Rail, and soon we're going to have Azcanta flip, so I think we're actually a little bit ahead right now. I don't think we're ahead by a lot, but definitely like a non-zero amount. Is Cast Down not considered anymore? I don't know, like, the removal spells in this format, none of them are strictly better or worse than the others. You're basically just like picking and choosing what you want your removal to line up against. So like, do you want your removal spell to be good against Drakes, or do you want your removal spell to be good against the Danto Vanguard? Do you want your removal spell to be good against creatures that are tapped with Seal Away, but bad against black-green? That one can stay right there. That feels good. That feels really good. I don't, that was quite wonderful. That was basically a draw 6. Oh, geez, they had Sabotage in their hand too. Oh, Chemister's in sight. Don't mind if it does. Do I want to tuck Rail? I guess their hand's pretty bad. Yeah, that's fine. The Conquistador with the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And the Solemn Visitor. Excited for New Standard? I'm excited for New Standard too. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. We found a deck that's similarly clunky and inefficient like the one we're playing, so we kind of have a chance. Okay, Negate probably locks this up, gives us an answer for when their Rail comes back around. We also like it to activate Azcanta again this turn, then we have our Chromium to close the game. Well, that worked out pretty well for them. I guess I just get to flash in Chromium at end of turn and kill their Rel by attacking. Seems reasonable. Also that. Man, I love the art on these lands. They're really good. I think playing a Memorial with the Chromium's a little bit loose. I think you just like, if the Chromium dies, you just like kill them with Teferi. It's probably reasonable. Just do it the miserable way. Win the game via misery. Hey, Sengius Feck with the brand new Prime Support. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here with that. 4 Mortify is probably a little bit too many here. And the Amulet Turtle deck. There is a 2-mana card that lets you look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put one in your hand. It's a sorcery. That card's probably very good in that deck. Which deck is Kaya useful? So Kaya's good as incidental graveyard hate, but she's also reasonable against the aggressive decks because she just like +1s to gain 2 life and like eventually does some damage. Well, obviously, we only had 1 land here in our first 13 cards in our 26 land deck, and that's statistically impossible because random means uniformity, right? That seems very good. Found our land too, God bless. Our 5 is quite fantastic here. Never forget, chat, you didn't have to mulligan, you got to mulligan. You didn't have to keep that 1 lander, you didn't have to keep the no lander. It's a good scene. That's a fantastic draw here. Unchecked Thief of Sanity is a good way we can win this game very quickly. My opponent is thinking the same thing. So let's take that and scry into our 3rd land here, ideally. Surveil, whatever this is called. Land, please. Probably dead. Probably dead. Nick's just gonna bury us at this point. Thanks, Flynn. So, like, I have this. I can potentially depose my way through this. If they like Eldritch Reborn us this turn, I'm probably just gonna move along to the 3rd game. No attacks there. It's actually really good for us. I think I just take this, right? Green Order Rhythm has been played, and it was actually really sweet. I like the build a lot. So, unfortunately, they get to Dream. They get to Dream Eater this turn. And then, like, they get to flip this next turn. We're pretty dead. Move along here. You think Warrant's better than Depose? I think Warrant and Depose do fundamentally different things. And that saying one is better than the other shows a misunderstanding of what the cards are doing in your decks. I like that Depose gets to slow down early pressure from the opponent while cantripping to have you be at a higher health total when you're playing against aggressive decks before you sweep up. I like that Depose, deploy part of Deploy Depose can gain us some health and provide some instant speed threats or blockers, which is nice. I think both the cards are like pretty reasonable in different decks, but I think just like saying one has to be better or worse than the other is like not recognizing that they're situationally very different. Zeramas, thank you for the 28 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I've got Negate here to stop a discard spell or a search for Azcanta. This deck seemed mediocre. The mana base has been inconsistent. I feel like if I wanted... The more I'm playing the deck, I feel like if I wanted to play Esper, I would want to move in the direction of just being like a white-black splash Teferi deck. Maybe some Thought Erasure, but mostly white-black splash Teferi. I'm gonna bin this extra Mortify here. I know this has Jumpstart, but I'd like to draw a lot of cards, not just a little bit of cards. Let's get rid of this now before they untap with the counterspell up. Yeah, there's 61 cards because I didn't have a cut. I don't really know what's good or bad right now. Cut a Mortify if you want to get to 60. I don't really think this deck is very good. We're trying to play some games and figure that out, but it feels clunky and inconsistent. This deck feels worse than Jeskai felt at the end of last season. And like, that's the question you really need to ask yourself with these new archetypes. The important thing to remember is that we didn't have a rotation. We just added a set to an existing format. So all of the cards that are in the things that we're doing right now, you need to keep comparing them to what we had last season. The Merfolk build that we played also felt lackluster. I think if I was going to work on Merfolk some more, I would try straight blue-green as opposed to splashing black now. We're actually going to swap to the Aristocrats after this match. So this is the last game. Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it. Wandering Murloc hit the nail on the head. It doesn't feel like this archetype has reasonable ways to close, and like Jeskai has so many great ways to actually kill its opponent. That felt very reasonable. Like between Niv Mizzet and all these other things, it has ways to actually end the game, which is a pretty important thing to do. This deck just kind of durdles around a lot, and the more time you give your opponent to draw more cards, the more likely they are to draw out of the game that you're currently controlling. I'm gonna Chemister's Insight now, because I could hit our other copy of Disdainful Stroke. Yeah, the decks that are in the stream title are the order in which I plan to play them today. Alright, so I can Duress, check for a counterspell before I Contempt this. Yeah, aggro decks are always good. Oh, my sequencing here is wrong. So, I should let their Sinister Sabotage resolve before I play Vraska's Contempt here. And the reason for this is their Surveil information could be impacted by knowing whether or not their Nicol Bolas is going to live. The Bant deck's awesome. I'm excited to hear that. Somebody else said the Bant deck felt good too. If the Bant deck is good, I'm probably going to go to Indianapolis and play it at the Open, because that's the style of deck that I really love playing. What do I think of Mardu Angels? I think I haven't played with or against Mardu Angels, so I don't have an educated or informed opinion on it. I think we have 1 or 2 iterations of Mardu Angels in my queue, so we're going to get to it at some point. I'm going to be playing a ton of different decks today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Yeah, I agree, Drake. This current standard format seems great. The standard format before this I knew was great. This one seems like it has potential to stay the same. Play Memekin at the Open. Where are the lists that I'm playing today? You can find all the decks that we're playing today in the deck queue on my website. And I might get through more than I have listed in there. Like I have Esper, I have Mardu, and Bant Flash listed. We might play 1 or 2 more decks after that. Man, that's brutal. Yeah, you're not wrong, SD Dragon. We got up to about 3,000 on our own, and then we had a host from Thundermo for another 1,000 that a bunch of people stuck around from. Thanks for people who stuck around from Thundermo stream, by the way. I appreciate you checking us out here. Do you have a removal spell for this? They have a removal spell for this. We're probably dead. This is going to get back a... Let's get back anything useful, actually. It gets back Nicol Bolas. Yeah, it's probably dead. Are we going to go late tonight? Yeah, I'm running past my normal time. We started a little bit late this morning. We didn't actually start playing games till like 11 o'clock because this was down. So, if we stay at like 2,000 plus, I'm probably going to go for another like 5 hours or so. Matt's supposed to be coming down around sometime soon. I think he's gonna be here like 6:30. So that should put him like right in time to start the Bant deck. So, like, I could cycle the Depose and, like, maybe hit a land, but, like, I could also hit a good spell, so I think I'm just supposed to let them take this. At what point do you open your vault? You should always open your vault as soon as you can. So, this has Vigilance, so let's attack before we activate it. Well, I think my opponent... Actually, I know my opponent messed up here. My opponent should have played Dream Eater and bounced this on their turn, because then I wouldn't have been able to kill their Eldritch Reborn. A deck being overpowered would make the standard format worse. I agree. I think this standard format has a high probability of staying very good for a very long time, but I'm also pretty conservative about making statements like that, so I try not to speak in ultimatums. That's true. I mean, I know you put the Kappa at the end there, Scroll Conspiracy, but something that newer players especially do that causes them a lot of pain is that they often play cards that are instants on the opponent's turn all the time, when it's often correct to not play them on the opponent's turn. Alright, so what is this Eldritch Reborn getting backed? So I could get Dream Eater to bounce their Nick, or I get my Thief of Sanity. I think I get Dream Eater and bounce their Nick, and then kill Eldest, yeah. This lets me Surveil 4 as well, which is like, that's like a lot of Surveil. Ooh, buddy. Yep, those can stay right there. Play out that land, because we don't want to discard it to Nicol Bolas. Attack, activate this, kill the Eldest Reborn. Vona's been very good. I think this card's going to be a staple, unlike Black-White mid-range. I have a Black-White Angels deck in the queue that has some Vona at the top end as well, and I think that archetype's going to be very good. The Angels decks have felt very powerful in Standard to me this season, but they tend to struggle with control decks, and having access to discard spells by splashing black in Angels seems like a good way to potentially fix that issue. Just tuck this in real quick.
I'm not ready for this quite yet.
Is the Meme Kin deck in the queue the most up to it? It is not, McGee. So if you go to my Stream Decker page here, whatever is the last posted one will be there. I don't update the deck queue midstream. I agree that Seraph of Scales is also good. So I'm going to go ahead and plus Teferi right now, because I know I want this card, so I might as well draw it before I scribe. Rude. Fine. So I could cast this as a draw 3 right now before they can cast a counterspell. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to do that. No, wait. Yeah, let's do that. I don't get to scry, but I think just like getting the raw draw 3 here is good. Looks like we're gonna come out on top here finally. Our slow, dirtily deck had more greed than their deck. Yay, greed! Yay. Greed is good, my children. Greed is good.
Let's skip to the good part.
Yeah, I feel like they stepped up the animations a notch with this set, which is great. So during my opponent's upkeep here, I'm going to depose the Thief of Sanity with my untapped Teferi lands. So, hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. I have 2 children, so I know the words to many nursery songs. All right, what are we doing with ourselves here? I'm not. So I felt like I wasn't really impressed with this deck. And I know we only played 4 matches with it. I'm sure we're gonna play some other Esper iterations at some point. But we tried absorbs and they were clunky. And really, I think, and I'm blanking on the username right now, but I think the person in chat who commented that this archetype simply doesn't have the closing power that Jeskai has. And like, maybe you play more Chromiums or like more Vonas or something, but like these colors, I don't think they have like the Crackling Drakes or the Niv Mizzets that really make Jeskai control feel really powerful in this format. It feels like one of the things that feels so good about Jeskai is that it pivots into winning the game very, very quickly once it's got things under control. And these colors just don't have the opportunity to do that. I feel like if there's going to be a good Kaya's Wrath deck in the format, it's likely going to be a more mid-range deck that's going a little bit bigger. And I mentioned Black-White Angels, and I think that archetype, along with some of the Afterlife creatures, could be a great thing to put Kaya's Wrath into. And we're definitely going to play those at some point.